listen, fleece them all you want to.
I'm going to play a little bit of this. Corey Minor, he was one of the people that was acting a fool because Marvin Sapp decided to tell people to close the doors while he was doing a $40,000 offering request at a convention center. Okay, at a convention center. Think about that for a minute. Convention center. He wasn't in his own church. And neither was he asking for money for anything for himself. They were raising a fund. I will say it again. And he was one of the ministers that was there to help them raise the fund. Obviously. Okay? I mean, Cornerstone Television used to do this years ago. Nobody was putting them on YouTube, putting them on blast, saying that they were a false call and all that. I was saying that this is ridiculous. Like, you got all these ministers getting up there telling you these crazy stories to get you to give money to their fundraise. But one thing for sure is that if you don't give, and it did happen, if you don't give, Cornerstone Television will be lost. Okay? Because Cornerstone Television never bought Cornerstone Television. Cornerstone Television was, and I was judging Cornerstone Television until I found out that Cornerstone Television never came out of one man's pocket. I mean, I forget what the name, Bixler. I think his last name was Bixler or something like that. He had a sum of money, a lot of money, that he started Cornerstone Television with. But it wasn't just him, it was other people that made the broadcast come alive, that created and funded the broadcast in the beginning. But now that it's been years and the broadcast has been on the air, they don't have the funds as one man giving most of the funds anymore. Okay? So all these people who watched Cornerstone Television and all these pastors who had some of them were benefiting from Cornerstone Television, they came and started doing whatever they needed to do to keep Cornerstone running, even if it meant make up stories about giving and tithes and all like that. I'm still wondering if R.W. Shambach really found $1 million or 100,000 or what was it, 50,000 or whatever he found in a distributor cap in a car that was purchased, and that 50,000 had been hidden in that distributor cap for years. No one mentioned about the grease. Well, maybe he said that the money was in a little plastic. I think he might have said that the money was in a little plastic baggie, one of them plastic Ziploc baggies or something. I think he said it was $50,000 that was in there or something like that. I don't know if that story is true or not. Hidden in a distributor cap all the time. Doesn't it get hot under there? Isn't that a fire? Yeah. Anyway, I'm still wondering if that story is true, but they was giving all kinds of stories to get you to give money, and I agree. Some of them were ridiculous. And some of them were like, if God bless you like that once, you ain't supposed to tell everybody. You're supposed to count your blessings. And, because you know what I'm saying, you put God on blast. Okay? He may never bless you like that ever again. Okay? Yeah. So, I'm going to play a little bit of this. I think that we need to get back to the days, however, to where we let churches be churches. We let ministries be ministries. But what we do here on YouTube, and this is YouTube, I'm getting ready to meet with a minister on Monday. And we're going to talk about some things and that. I guarantee you Marvin Sapp's name ain't going to come in our conversation. Because why? Marvin Sapp is doing what he's doing. We're doing what we're doing. Okay. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you Marvin Sapp's name ain't going to come in our conversation. He probably don't even know Marvin Sapp. Other than Marvin Sapp's music. Then Marvin Sapp asked for $40,000 at a convention center. That, to me, tells me to want to tell Corey and everybody else to F off, really. Because you're making content on somebody else's content because you think that you can judge other Christians based on how they want to do things. Look, if people want to give $40,000, that is their prerogative. I would like to get up in the middle of a church service right now and ask for $50,000, all for myself, because I need it. I actually need $50,000. Okay, pay off my debt and buy me a house. And there are ministers out there that if I told them I need $50,000, they would be like, close the doors. They would be like, close the doors. Alright, I know all you people up here, I know y'all carrying $100 in your pocket. We're going to raise $50,000 for this brother. There are ministers out there that will do that. Oh, and what else did they criticized Philip Anthony Mitchell for giving $50,000 to a dude that drove 7 days to get to 2819 church. They gave him $50,000. You know what? You stand in that long line to get into that church, especially if you all the way in the back. Oh man, you the last one to get there. You in the back. Your parking lot clear across the parking lot. Okay, it's a mile down the road, or 2 miles down the road. Okay, at the very, very front of the parking lot. Okay, and then you stand in the back of the line. I believe you deserve $50,000. Let me play a little bit of this. Let me play a little bit. Where do I want to start at? I don't know where I want to start. Okay, I'm gonna start where he comes in. Okay, I'm gonna start here.
By now, you've probably heard the whole blow up between what went viral with Marvin Sapp, the former gospel singer who is now a preacher. What he did the other day, sometime about a week ago, it's the church gathering where he was there and he was speaking, and he said to the ushers to close the door, and he would then proceed to collect.
Not a church gathering. I mean, it was a church gathering, but what you won't hear him say is convention center. To me, that is a very, very big case in the story. The fact that they were at a convention center. Might have been a church gathering, but a church gathering at a convention center. And then you're only going by footage. You weren't there. You're only going by footage that was recorded. Where was the whole thing recorded at? Was the whole thing even recorded? You know, I mean, it's like bite me, man, you know. I mean, I'm no fan of Marvin Sapp. Marvin Sapp got one thing I like, and that is that song, God Alone. That's it. I don't know nothing about Marvin Sapp. All I know is that what they're complaining about is not YouTube content. It is not Christian content. It's not. It's just people being. People don't realize that what they're doing is their flesh. This is their flesh coming out of their spirit and out of their body. That's what this is. This is flesh. What he's doing right here is not the true. What is his name again? Corey Minor. This is his flesh. He's trying to judge people, and I'm not talking about judge people like the world judge people. He's trying. It's Christians judging Christians. And to me, when you say, Lord, Lord, did I not prophesy and do all these things in your name? And he will say, I never knew you. When Christians go up against Christians, you realize that we all have to share, unless I'm doing something that is really, 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 sinful. You shouldn't be judging me, and I shouldn't be judging you. Okay? God is not going to let people into the kingdom of heaven that don't want to be up there with his people. Okay? I mean, if you don't want to be in the kingdom of heaven with Marvin Sapp, if you don't want to be in the kingdom of heaven with Marcus Rogers, or if you don't want to be in the kingdom of heaven with Ricky Smiley, I don't know. I don't know if Ricky Smiley is going to heaven, and if Marvin Sapp is going to heaven, what are we supposed to do with Corey Minor? What are we supposed to do with all these other ministers? I personally don't see nothing wrong with what the guy did. If he want to raise $40,000. Nobody knows what was in that hallway when he shut those doors. There could have been kids out there making noise. There could have been people out there that were not part of the service, and they were not paying attention to what was going on. Usually when you have doors to a sanctuary, that means that there's a lobby outside the sanctuary. Okay? But, okay. They felt a need to make content out of this. That's my problem. You know, all these guys making content based on criticizing what other people do. I just think it's wrong. That's just me. I think it's wrong.
Try to collect $40,000. The issue now, though, is that who is coming to defend him? Now, it would be one thing if you just said, you know what, I apologize. That's not my intent. The way it looked, it's not what I was trying to do. Just that's how we do things. Whatever.
He did apologize. I showed you the video where, what is his name? Kadabtru showed his apology, and he criticized them for his apology. Or he didn't need to apologize. They criticized him for him making a letter of response to what he was doing. And I agree with Ricky Smiley. I hate liars. He never said lock the doors. He said shut the doors. Close the doors. He never said lock the doors. Okay? I guess because I've been in a situation, I've been in a service before, maybe none of these cats, I don't know if they don't go to church, they don't go to convention centers, what's going on, they never been in a mega church, I don't know. But I've been in situations where they were told to close the doors. Matter of fact, I've been in plenty of churches where whenever there is an offering, they close the doors. Whenever there is prayer, they close the doors. Whenever there's preaching, they close the doors. As soon as the worship is over, they close the doors. As soon as they get to the part where they're preaching. Now see, what happened in this case is they worship, and then they have a sermon. Okay, when they go to the sermon, they close the doors, but after the sermon is over, they open the doors again. That's probably why he said close the doors, because he wasn't done preaching, and now that he's done preaching, he's going to talk about the 40,000, so he said close the door. Because to him, talking about the 40,000, and he did quote some scripture when he did it, he's still preaching. So he said close the doors. Okay? And you don't know. I mean, those are not the doors to outside. If you're in a convention center, those doors are not the doors to the street, people. Those are the doors to the hallway, the large hallway, or the large lobby, or a parking lot or something. They're not the doors to outside on the street. I can think of about a dozen reasons why he said close the doors. But even in churches, especially mega churches or large churches, they always close the doors. They close them, open them, close them, open them, close them, open them throughout the service.
Whatever. And there still would have been some pushback on that, but at least own the issue, own the mistake, own the problem. And it is a problem. We're going to look more into it. But then when you have someone like a Ricky Smiley, who's also well noted, he
did not commit a federal freaking crime. Why does he need to own up to anything? He shouldn't apologize. He should say, oh, that's what I did. Okay? He made it worse by apologizing, or made it worse by addressing, social media for their critic of him. He shouldn't have did that. He should have just, okay, we got our 40,000. I ain't worried about what Corey Minor and all things theology say about me. I got my 40,000. I don't care what they say about me. He should let it go. But he felt pressured. He felt criticized. He felt, so he had to say something. He made it worse. But what he should have did was, give up a spiritual middle finger. Give up an invisible middle finger to all this. Like, y'all just hating, because that's what you're doing. They're just hating. Okay? You think that God is concerned about how you feel about somebody raising $40,000 for whatever. They're not raising $40,000 obviously to traffic children. They're not raising $40,000 for racketeering or raising $40,000 to gamble the money back out. I mean, what's the problem? What could be wrong with raising $40,000? What is that $40,000 being used for? Nobody's talking about that. Okay. But he needs to own up to something because of the way he got the $40,000, which he wasn't kidnapping. And when this guy Ricky Smiley speaks, you're going to see. But Ricky Smiley is right. And it doesn't matter to me if Ricky Smiley is a Christian or not. He doesn't need to be a Christian to use common sense and understand that a minister of God needed to raise $40,000 at a convention center. At a convention center. They could have been doing anything on the other side of those doors that he said close those doors. You don't want the world coming in there while you passing money around, for one thing. You're at a convention center. That means they got almost just as many staff working in that place and people from the streets in that place as much as they do Christians in that room. So when he said close the doors, you don't want nobody that ain't saved, that ain't caring about this service, to walk in there while you passing money around. I believe that's the main reason why he said close the doors. Because this is a Christian event, and the only Christians there are the people in that room. Because you are at a convention center. I've been to events at the David Lawrence Convention Center here in downtown Pittsburgh. When you are at an event, there are thugs, there are street people, there are people waiting on charter buses and all kinds of stuff, waiting indoors. There are people inside that come in off the street to look at the water because there's like a river there inside the convention center, and like it's separate little in a separate little glass. There's like a pond or something in there, and they love to go in there. People come off the street, they go there and sit next to the pond to read whatever. They stand there, they talk. People are loud, you know. Lovers come in there and be smooching with each other in there and all that kind of stuff. You have no idea what was going on behind those, on the other side of those doors that he said close the doors, but I'm just repeating myself, so let me continue.
Is a television, not television, but a radio personality he professes to be a Christian. Whether he is or whether he isn't, the fact is, the problem is that you will come out, and because he's friendly with you, you know him, he's also going to be on his radio show this upcoming Monday, you would defend him in...
You know what I mean? You criticize and then you don't know who people are. Ricky Smiley is a Christian comedian. That's what he is. He's a Christian comedian. And now they wait till years later when he's old to start putting him on blast. But when Ricky Smiley, first came out, he was the best Christian comedian ever. Okay? This is why, look, if you really, really don't know, you should shut up. You know, and Corey, man, he's dug a ditch for himself. And it's only a matter of time before everybody realizes it, and he realizes it. Okay? And what I hate about, you know, people getting on your channel and following you, for some people, including yourself, for people to follow you on your channel or to subscribe, they become your followers like Jesus having followers. And it's not right. I'm nobody's follower. I mean, I'll follow you. Like, I'm subscribed to his channel. You see right here? I'm subscribed to his channel. I've been subscribed to his channel for about at least a year. And I just, you know, because, you know, and now it used to be, when I first subscribed to his channel, was like, oh, I want to subscribe to his channel because he seems to be smart, the smart Christian. You know, he seems to be pretty smart. This right here ain't smart. It really isn't. This is not smart. Matter of fact, the last 5 videos he did wasn't smart. Well, I take that back, because he did have some videos in there where he was talking about other things. But I say the last 3, 4, 5 critique videos he did were not smart. The only one that he was smart on was the one he did against the Hebrew Israelites, because the Hebrew Israelites ain't smart either. Okay? But most of his videos when he critiques people is not very smart, because he doesn't have all the facts. He wasn't there. He doesn't know. He doesn't even know who Ricky Smiley is. Ricky Smiley is a Christian comedian. He's been a Christian comedian for most of his life. And now he's an old man. He's probably older than me. And I agree with Ricky Smiley. He lies. Because he didn't say lock the doors. He said close the doors. All these guys are Christians making a case against Marvin Sapp. Read your goddamn Bible. You ain't supposed to be doing this. Read your Bible. You're not supposed to be doing this. Corey's not supposed to be doing this. Read your Bible. You don't go up against another Christian like this unless they've done something really, 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 really bad. Raising $40,000 ain't a crime. And it definitely ain't the end of the world. You know, closing the doors, that's laughable. What? Okay.
In something that really should not be defended, you should say, you know what, you were wrong, but here's an opportunity to even come on and apologize for that. But no, instead Ricky Smiley is now defending what he said and really also attacking the people that have a problem with it.
Marvin Sapp is coming on the show. And how are you? Oh, thank you so much. I want to say
Now, and pardon me, you're going to hear a lot of wind in the background. There's nothing I can do about that, but he stated that Marvin Sapp is coming on his show on Monday.
say this, and just tell you why this bothered me. I understand everybody have an opinion on tithes and offering and how it was done. One thing I hate lies, and I hate liars.
So now he's saying he hates lies, he hates liars.
Yeah.
He understands why some people are bothered by the tithes and offerings and how it was done, but he hates lies, hates liars. But you're not going to speak about any sort of lies and liars that were there at that particular program, though. That's a bit hypocritical.
Got a family that man didn't say nothing about lock. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. The word lock means don't.
He's right. Ricky Smiley is right here. But Corey is saying, what about the lies and liars at the convention? Oh, so now you're going after other people. They're liars because they were just there? Like, who else lied? No one was up there preaching except Marvin Sapp. Who's these other liars and that are you talking about, Corey? Like, oh, you're not going to talk about the liars that were there? What are you talking about? How do you know who else was lying? See, this is what I mean. Y'all need to quit while you're ahead. You really need to quit while you're ahead.
Don't let in, don't let out. Close means you can go out if you want. The pastor asks you not to go out. And if you choose to go out, you can.
I'm going to say it again. You cannot lock the doors from inside at a convention center. You can't lock the doors from the inside at a church service. That's a fire hazard. The city doesn't allow you to do that. You could go to jail for that. If you shut the doors from the inside, okay, or lock the doors from the outside to lock everybody in, okay, you go to jail for that. I believe he asked them to shut the doors so that he would have more privacy while he was asking for the $40,000. Because again, first of all, he's at a convention center. He's not at a church. You don't know who's on the other side of that door. Obviously, anybody on the other side of that door don't give a rat's behind about what's going inside. They can make as much noise as they want to make. They can be out there. They can be out there having sex at a secular convention center. There ain't no such thing as a Christian convention center, or there might be one or two in the whole entire America. But people could be doing anything. They could be smoking outside them doors. They could be doing anything. You don't know why what he saw from his side view going on behind them doors. I remember, like, you know, when I used to go, my church was a thing called the 6-Day Fellowship. Okay? My church has a thing called the 6-Day Fellowship, and we would go to these hotels every year. And you know, you stay in this big giant ballroom that's about the size of a church. You stay in this big giant ballroom. It's about the size of a church auditorium. I mean, it's about the size of two church auditoriums. Two church auditoriums. Two church sanctuaries, you know. And so you probably get about like 300 people in these big giant ballrooms. Okay? Outside the doors of those hotels, you got people out there wearing, like women wearing skimpy clothes. Okay. You got people smooching in the hallways. Okay. You got people, back in the day they could smoke outside in the hallway. They can't smoke no more. We don't smoke indoors anymore. You got drunk people out there. You got some man with his woman up against the wall. You know what I mean? He's going up her dress, stuff like that, because they're drunk. You know, you got a man and his wife arguing out there in the hallway because he was looking at, you know, another woman. You know, you got security issues out there. You got hotel security going and making people walk off the floor, and somebody's out there yelling at security, and you name it. And I remember as a youngster going to these 6-state conventions. We went to New York City. We went to Philadelphia. We went to, there was one in Reading one time. We went different places. And we stayed at these convention centers and hotels. Sometimes the hotel was separate from the convention center, so we had to drive from the hotel to the convention center. We stayed at one time where the convention center was connected to the hotel, and then we stayed at just hotels that they had these giant ballrooms in them. Okay, and it was all depending on how many people we thought were coming. But anyway. When we would go to these places, okay, what's going on in the sanctuary is a Christian event, and people do not support Christian events. They have no respect. And so, like, you're getting ready to ask for $40,000. People are getting ready to put money in the offering place. The way Marvin Sapp was talking to them ushers was like common sense would tell you. This is a convention center. We're getting ready to take money out of our pocket. Shut the goddamn doors. That's why he's like, close the doors. Because why? We're at a convention center. Them people out there, you don't know who's out there behind that door. There could be a man with a gun coming in there to rob everybody. Anybody can walk in them doors and try to rob somebody. You get ready to pass money out at a convention center. But yet, I guess Corey never ever, went to service at a convention center or a hotel. He never been to a mega church or a large church. I don't know, Corey. I guess Corey always been in these little tiny small churches. Okay, little country bumpkin churches. Ain't much going on. I've been to those too, plenty of those. But I guess Corey, I don't know. I guess Corey, he's going to make a sermon out of something because he never experienced it. He never, he needs to get out. A lot of you people that are criticizing, you need to get out and live a little bit. You really do. You need to get out and live a little bit.
You can go out.
It really is being a bit semantical, and a locked door doesn't mean that you can't unlock the door, and a closed door, they virtually the same thing. The impression is still the same.
No, it's not.
I don't know who said he said lock the door. I don't know.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not, Corey. You're wrong. It's not the same thing. You cannot lock the doors at a place like the convention center. That's a fire hazard, and it's also against the law. You can shut the doors because it's your event that you paid for. You're allowed to have privacy. Oh my God.
I don't know. But that's still the impression because we know church decorum.
Oh, he don't know. He don't know. Did you hear him say it? He don't know. Oh, I don't know. Okay, you don't know, but you felt to make this pointless, boring content about it. I'm about 2 seconds from unsubscribing from this dude because I really starting to feel like he's a false prophet. He's just hating on people for the dumbest reasons. Him and a bunch of others I'm about to unsubscribe to because they make no sense to me. Out of all the things you could criticize Marvin Sapp for, you flipping out about this. You acting crazy about this. Oh my God.
When they say close the doors, it might as well be locked because you don't want to be the person that gets up and is trying to go out while the usher is saying, no, just wait. Because it creates a scene and you look.
You got a right to privacy. You have a right to privacy. Especially if you are in the sanctuary and there's people that are outside that ain't paying attention. oh, y'all see somebody passing money around the room, now you want to pay attention. No, close the doors. Okay? I've been to events where we're all in there worshiping God or whatever, and then it gets quiet. We didn't hear y'all out there making all that noise while we weren't worshiping because the music was loud and all like that. Then when we started talking about the preaching, we started talking about the offering, we hear y'all out there cussing, we hear y'all out there fussing, we hear y'all out there, guys and their girlfriends out there feeling on each other and kissing and all that kind of stuff. And then not only for and I remember being at a convention center. Well, no, not even a convention center. I remember being at a large church. I remember being at Pittsburgh East, and they closed the doors because the young folks out in the hallway were making too much noise and having too much fun and weren't paying attention to what we were doing. They weren't part of the service. So the pastor, asked them to close the doors. They did it at Gary Mitrick's church. They did it at Pittsburgh East. Okay? When I was at the David Lawrence Convention Center for the event I went to, the doors were automatically closed the whole time we were in there. And one of the reasons why they closed the doors is because of the air conditioning. Oh my God.
You look like you were in the wrong. And so, for all intents and purposes, when you tell the ushers at a majority or predominantly black church, what we're saying is, in essence, lock the door. That you can't lock them, don't lock them, but you know what I mean. Guard the doors, stand by the doors, don't let anyone out. That was his point. We're going to say that was actually clearly his point.
Well, if you snatch the door and the ushers at the door, you can't go in. Okay? Y'all told the damn lie. You love to tear people down by lying on them and without clear context.
Now remember though, this is the same person. He's friendly with someone like a Jamal Bryant. He's friendly with William Murphy. He's friendly with a lot of people who are more secular than they are sanctified, who are more part of the culture and the community, who want to, still maintain some sort of semblance of a relationship with the church. And so he seems to be the one that's helping people to tightrope that little line. And so you'll see him use words or speak and kind of, some folks will be bothered by him using that word, D-A-M-N. Some may not, but that's just kind of his lingo. And he seems to be, he wants to tightrope that line. He wants to walk that fine line himself, where he's on one side of the fence, and on the other side, he's right up on it, in the middle of it, which is no place to be.
Nobody from that church or that was in that congregation complained. And every pastor that I seen and I talked to didn't have no issue with it.
Well, two things. One, the pastors that you spoke to might not have an issue with it because they probably employ the same tactics. The people that were there that didn't have a problem with it, well, you don't know what they did because we're not hearing from them. But let's say they didn't. I don't care. I don't care. As a matter of fact, on another video, I said that I'm glad he did what he did. Do it some more. Why? Fleece them. Fleece them till it hurts. Why is that? Because these are the people that embolden these preachers to do those things. When these people say sow a certain seed and do this and do that, and they never seem to reap what they sowed, they never get the benefits that the person's up there preaching about, telling them that they're going to get. God's going to bless you. It's going to be your season. If you've received something, then also give an offering. Those are the things we know the lingo over and over again. We've heard it. Well, these people need.
Maybe the Lord is calling me to be a pastor. So the people who would like to be like Corey Minor and a lot of these so-called ministers on YouTube will come after me and complain about me and how I live, how much my house costs and how I raise money in the church and some of the sermons that I preach and all like that. Maybe the Lord is calling me to be a pastor just so I can tell people to go F themselves. because it's really not Corey's business if this man want to raise $40,000. What you did not witness is an open robbery. He didn't say close the doors and then pull out a gun, okay, and start robbing people, and nobody could get out until they pull $100 out of their purse, and if you didn't have $100 in your purse, you got shot in the head. I mean, what does I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm already done listening because he sounds like a quack. $40,000. Do you realize how many people were at that convention? And I do believe that they raised, if I heard it correctly, they raised way more than $40,000 because the people did give generously. And okay, like Ricky Smiley said, nobody had a problem. Yeah. For one of the reasons was because they were supposed to raise money at this convention. I mean, no one's talking about what the $40,000 is for.
Need to have at some point in time it hit, and the only way that, since they are greedy, many of them are greedy themselves, or some of them are just too passive, but maybe what you need to have happen to you is to have this happen more and more, because you do have the right to get up and vote or voice your displeasure by leaving and never coming back. And so when you keep going back to them after they do these things, well then you...
Who has the right to vote? This ain't politics, this is church. Who has the right to vote? I didn't catch that. Hold up. Who has a right to vote? The people at the church? Maybe. The people at the convention center? Maybe. But Corey, your bald head don't have a right to vote. Okay? You're an outsider looking in. You don't get the right to vote about what he's doing. He's with his people, getting $40,000 off of his people. The people that he's affiliated with. He ain't affiliated with your little dry boring church. Okay? So I don't understand we're now what? So now we're voting? Like, what are you talking about?
Because you do have the right to get up and vote or voice your displeasure by leaving and never coming back. And so when you keep going back to them after these things, well then you're giving them the message that it's okay to do those things. And so, listen.
But like Ricky Smiley said, nobody had a problem with it. Let me tell you something. Corey need to go to church more often. Look, if you go to church and there's an offering given, if they tell you that they have a desired need for there to be $40,000 or there to be, and they could get up there and you could disagree with. How many ministers have I sat in their church, including ministers that came to my church, who tried to tell me how much I can give? Oh, I know everybody in here got money because y'all getting ready to go straight to McDonald's with your fat selves when you leave this church. They have people come into my church and say that. And I know all y'all got $20 y'all can put in this offering plate because y'all gonna go to McDonald's. And I whispered to my wife, yeah, actually, we're still going to go to McDonald's. And I'm going to spend probably about $30, $40 at McDonald's between the six of us. So, I'm going to give $10. I'm not giving $20. $10 is pushing it. You don't have to. They can say, but you know what? You put $10 in the offering plate. The guy asked for $20. I went up there and put $5. He looked at me and said, "Thank you, my brother. Thank you for your gift." But he asked me to give $20. He asked everybody to give $20. And how many times have I seen that? I've been in church, especially these black churches, black Baptist churches and stuff like that. They're always doing that. And, I said, well, I'm still going to McDonald's when I leave here because I'm hungry. I don't eat breakfast before coming to Sunday school. I'm still, like Sunday school, and then you have morning service. In my church, both the churches that I used to go to, well, one of them I still go to, but even my first church I was born and raised in, we have Sunday school, and this is the way Church of God Ministries is. We have Sunday school, and we go right into, there's like a 10-20 minute recess after Sunday school, and then you go right into morning service. Okay? But anyway, when morning service starts, somewhere in the middle of the service, the guy will take up an offering, and he'll say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. $10, $20, whatever you ask for, half the people are going to give half of that. If you ask for 10, they're going to give 5. Half of them going to give 5. If you ask for 5, half of them going to give 3. Some might give $1. I went up there and I put 2 quarters, 50 cents, in the offering plate one time. Only one lady had the audacity to look at me like, really? So I had in my pocket, sweetie. I'm not giving you my credit card number. I had 50 cents in my pocket. I put it in the offering plate. Lady looked at me like, really? But the brother, the minister up there was like, thank you, my brother. Thank you for your offering. Then he looked in the plate. He had looked at 50 cents again like, yeah, praise the Lord. Well, God is good. Okay, he just only 2 coins. Out of 100 people, this brother put 2 quarters in there. Okay. There were times I had to apologize to people after the morning service was over because they were, I had to apologize. And they didn't care. They just thought it was kind of hilarious that out of all them $1 bills, $20 bills, $5 bills, $50 bills, I put 2 quarters in there. There were times I had to go apologize. Hey, my brother, you took up the offering? No offense, I wasn't trying to be funny or be smart when I put the 50 cents in there. That's all I had in my pocket. He said, oh, no, brother. Every little bit counts, brother. We give sparingly as the Lord wills. Some people didn't give nothing. They walked right past the offering plate and waved at us. Okay? So, brother, it's okay. Don't get upset. It's okay. You gave what you had in your pocket to give, and that's what the Bible tells you to do. The Bible don't tell you to throw your credit card in the offering plate. That's fine, brother. You did. I said, thank you, brother. I'm glad you understand. But most of the time, there were sometimes I was like, here we go again. I ain't giving no $20. I'm gonna give 50 cents. I went up there. I had 2 quarters. I let them drop so you could see. I'm only giving 50. Bing, bing, bing. Everybody heard them when they dropped. Bing, bing, bing. And boom. One of them even spinning the plate. And they just look at me like, really? And I'm like, hey, I got to go to McDonald's when I leave here. Okay? Okay, I got to go to McDonald's. I got to save my money for McDonald's for when I leave here. But, you know what I'm saying? I give all the time, so I don't care if one day, I gave a lot of money last Sunday. I put probably about $50 in that offering plate. Now you're going to ask me for 20 on the following Sunday. I'm putting 50 cents in there. I'm going to let them drop so you can understand how generous I am with my 50 cents. Bing, bing, spin, 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 spin. Everybody's looking like, that's 50 cents. Spinning in the plate. Oh, And there were people, one time, when we were younger, I put 50 cents in there and, like I said, some people, and there was a girl behind me, she said, seriously, you are hilarious. I said, I wasn't trying to be funny, that's all I got. She said, you know you're going to go right around the corner to that penny candy store. You're going to go right around the corner and you're going to put all that money. I said, you're right. Actually, I got a couple ones in my pocket for that. We're going to go to the penny candy store after we get done with church. I'm going to go to the penny candy store and I'm treating. Okay? So, unless you don't want me to buy you no lemon heads or no Boston baked beans or whatever your favorite candy is, okay? Shut your mouth. Okay? I'll put this $2 in the plate. You won't get nothing. Okay? Because I got candy at home. Okay? But, these guys need to get out more. They really do. They need to get out more. They really do.
Place them all you want to. These are people that are either not believers or unwise or children, babes in Christ. And so, yeah, you may not have heard a whole lot of pushback because, one, you might not even have people who don't want to put their name there to say that, yeah, I went along with it, or they just don't want the pushback.
You took one clip and made whatever you wanted to make out of it, which was a damn lie. Because Locke is kidnapped. Close the door. Let me say this right here. And I said this on the radio show. This is what I said on the radio show. Stop lying on people.
He's making too much out of the point about someone saying lock the door, and he's missing.
Yeah, because you're lying on somebody, Corey. You're accusing the man of a universal assault. If you're going to critique somebody, then critique them right. You're the one. K-Dub is the one, and a bunch of others said he said lock the doors. He said lock the doors. He did not say lock the doors. He said close the doors. You cannot lock the doors at a convention center. It's against the law. You will be booted out of the building. You try to lock them doors. You can lock them from the outside so can't nobody get in. But while you're inside, they take the locks off the doors. The same thing with mega churches. Security and the ushers are trained to take the locks off the doors while the place is in business. You cannot lock the doors from the outside or the inside while there is service going on. That's a fire hazard. If it's done and you get caught, you could go to jail for that and you could be fined. And nobody in their right spiritual mind will want to do that anyway. He said close the doors. And for you to say, he said lock the doors, and then add all this other innuendo to it about, oh, he was in there trying to keep people from leaving and all this kind of stuff. You don't know that. That's not what he said. Those are not the words that came out of his mouth. Okay? You're being a false prophet, and then you want to accuse Ricky Smiley of making too big of a deal.
The bigger point. The bigger point is not whether he said lock the door, close the door. It's not a semantical issue. The issue is the intent, what all happened. And there's more to this story as well. There's a bigger reason why, or a few other reasons why this is just bad all the way around. And then you, Ricky Smiley, coming in to defend this person, you're not helping. As a matter of fact, you are helping sin to flourish.
Stop talking. Look at all the blogs and all of the stories talking about he said lock the door. He didn't say no damn lock. You're a liar and a dog. You're a dog for lying.
What's that doing? You're a liar and you're a dog for lying. How's that helping?
I'm gonna follow y'all. See, you're a liar.
Corey, you are a dog for lying. Not only you, but Global, K-Dub, and a bunch of others. I'm tired of seeing it show up on my page. He said lock the doors. Everybody's talking about, and what they're doing is they're copying off of you and other people. They're saying he said lock the doors, when that's not what he said. You are not realizing how much of an offense having so many subscribers and having all these people come to your channel and you accusing this man of something that is clearly in the video that he did not do. Yes, it is a big issue. It's a big issue on your end, Corey, because you're the perpetrator here. This man was having church. He was doing a fundraiser at a convention center, and he asked for $40,000. And then he said, "I'm going back to my hotel." Highlight that. "I'm going back to my hotel." What, you think they was going to write him out a check for everybody that you think they was going to write him out a check for $40,000 and send it to his hotel room? What do you think the $40,000 was for? Nobody knows. But I can almost guarantee you my pinky being chopped off that it wasn't for Marvin Sapp. Whatever it was for. It wasn't for Marvin himself. Marvin Sapp didn't say, "I need a $40,000 car. I need $40,000 because of just for my church, what my church needs." It was a fundraiser, obviously. I don't understand how we make a false prophet and a vandal out of a man at a convention center with a Christian group, asking the ushers to close the doors at a convention center while the brother asks for $40,000, and after he gets done taking the offering, he goes back to his hotel because he's not at home, he's in your town, preaching at your convention center where a whole bunch of churches got together and showed up at this convention center. Think about the picture, and then think about what people are making out of it. None of these people were there. You don't see one person that was there making a video about this. Show me the video of somebody that was there making a video about this. Once I put my money in that offering plate, whether it be $10 or $20 or $5, ain't no sense in me making a video and complaining about it. I already gave you my money. And if you get $40,000 or more, I was a part of that. Because I gave $5. I can't complain. I'm not going to get on video. I'm not going to get on YouTube and complain. The only way I'm going to complain is if I got mad because he had the audacity to ask for $40,000 and I walked out. And yes, I went to the usher and I said, "I'm leaving." And I guarantee you, he didn't say, "Oh, well, you can't leave." I guarantee you. If I say, "Hey, I got to take a piss," the usher ain't going to say, "Oh, you can't we're doing the offering, you can't leave." No, he's going to escort you to the door and make sure you go out and the door shuts behind you and nobody else comes in and piggybacks and comes in there while he's at the door with you. Because unless they're coming in there to be part of the service, they don't need to come in there. Okay? You know how many years I spent as an usher? I am used to closing doors for various reasons. I'm used to escorting people to the restroom and back. I'm used to taking people out of the building on wheelchairs. I'm used to opening and closing doors. I'm used to running the sound equipment, the microphone program, the pastor's mic and speakers and all that stuff. I'm used to doing all that stuff. In my church, now the church I go to now, it's a bigger church. They close the doors sometime because the kids have their own. The kids have their thing downstairs while we're having church, and once the worship stops, the kids tend to come upstairs and play in the large hallway lobby while we're having church. The ceiling is about 1,000 feet up in this place. Okay? So everything echoes. So even if you're in the hallway, the ceiling's way up there. It echoes. You have to shut the doors if the kids are being kids. You know how kids are. They're always loud. You got to shut the doors. Okay? And while we're having church, the kids are having church. down. The kids are having church downstairs, but you can't contain them. They're going to run around, and you're going to be chasing them. So they close the doors. Okay. Also, at my other church, my senior pastor, our church is a little small country church, and when the weather is nice outside, even with the air conditioning on, it gets hot inside. So we open the front doors. We leave the front doors open, and we leave them open so people feel welcome to come into the church. But when it gets nice and cool in there and people start acting like it's getting too cold in there or there's too much wind blowing or whatever, we shut the doors. And if it gets loud outside, if traffic is loud, like there's times when there's a traffic jam outside. There's times when our neighbor across the street is cussing out her boyfriend. You can hear it in the church. You sitting there listening to the pastor, mother effer, pack your crap and get out. You can hear him. We shut. Brother Dewar, can you shut the door for me, please? We don't need to hear all that. Thank you, my brother. Okay? Okay, I'm going to listen to a little bit more, and I'm done.
And you're a dog. And you just lied. Of locking the door and closing the door. And let me add this. There are certain parts of the church service that is sacred.
So, certain parts of the church service that are sacred, you are willing to defend this, but you're not willing to defend the sanctity of the worship service. If that indeed was what that was. The problem is we got so many folks that are at the ready to defend their friends, but not to defend how things are done with the body. You don't care about that. You don't care about the Bible. You don't care about the body. You do care about your buddy.
I'm just curious, Corey. What does the Bible say about asking for $40,000? Does it say that if thou, help me, Lord, if thou perceiveth to ask thou for $40,000, okay, do not shut the doors, or thy will be in contempt of court if thou shut the doors while thou asketh for $40,000. If thou asketh for $40,000, do not post it on YouTube, because thou will be in judgment of hellfire if thou beloved, catch you asking for $40,000, and he posted on YouTube thy well, okay, or therewith unto, okay, then all of you will be in judgment of hellfire, and Corey Miner's head will get more balder than what it already is. Is that what it says in the Bible? No. So, I don't understand. I don't understand. Now he's going to go in there, well, the Bible, what's the Bible say? I'm just curious. What does the Bible say about requesting $40,000, Corey? It doesn't. It doesn't. So stop adding to scriptures. There's nothing in the Bible that's going to condemn him or request him to ask for $40,000.
That's a huge problem.
Where the doors are supposed to be closed. Tithes and offering. When someone is praying. When the pastor is taking his text. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, during a baptismal. But there are certain parts of the church service that's
So if there are certain parts of the church service
oh my God,
that are supposed to be closed, it's sacred, the door is supposed to be closed, well then why were the doors open in the first place? When did the doors open in the first place?
The doors were open in the first place because he asked for the $40,000 after he got done preaching. While he was preaching, the doors were closed. See, why do I have to be Professor Detective Columbo on this? Obviously the doors were closed, okay, and then he opened them. Then they opened them because church was about to dismiss, and he started asking for the $40,000. Okay, before everybody ran out of there. Okay, so he said close the doors because they thought church was over. Okay, I don't know what church Glory goes to, he must go. I don't know. He sounds just as dumb critiquing this as he thinks Ricky Smiley sounds defending this. Because, so you never been to a church where they close the door while there's preaching, while they're taking the offering, while they're, oh my God, Corey, what kind of church do you go to, bro?
In the first place, go back and watch what was happening. The door should have never been open. If this was time for worship, time for the word, well then why were the doors open to begin with? So if it was that sacred, or is it the giving of the word and prayer and the worship? If that's not sacred, well then why then is the receiving of the money? Why is that sacred?
Yeah, there are certain parts of the church service that is sacred. When they're playing, and probably when he was saying that, the doors was open and people were going in and out, and he was trying to make a point. Period, point blank. Don't tear him down. Because let me tell you something. There's a lot of us benefit off of ministry. If it weren't for ministry, I wouldn't be where I am. Don't try to tear down ministry. It's a lot of people.
No one's tearing down ministry, but what we're saying is what people are having an issue with is how you do it, how you look to make the ministry a means for gain. Remember, Paul says that there are people who see this as a means for gain, not realizing that godliness, that actually is the gain that we get. And let's just be clear, Ricky Smiley. The Bible says that if we say we have no sin, we are deceiving ourselves. So don't act as though that there is no particular sin here. Now, John is speaking to believers, and so don't act as though these believers.
So it's a sin for a pastor to request $40,000 from the church. But it's not a sin for some dude living on the street. You're doing ministry and you're asking if people want to be saved, and you're giving tracts out. And with those tracts, you have a food truck and you're giving out hot dogs to people that come to receive the gospel. But this guy is not sinning if he comes and he tries to collect a dozen hot dogs so he can take them and give them out to other people that stayed away from the truck because they didn't want to hear the gospel. We don't want to hear your stupid gospel. We just want our hot dogs. Like you're entitled to them. Okay? That's not a sin, according to people that I used to ride a food truck with. Okay? But it's a sin for a minister to ask for $40,000 from other ministers at a frickin' convention center where a group of thousands or hundreds, whichever one it was, of Christians are getting together. Okay? Also, you know, that's a sin. But it's not a sin for me to give a crackhead on the street money, not being concerned about whether he's a crackhead or not. Just reach in my pocket like they asked you to do in the church. Just reach in my pocket and hand you a 20. Not caring about, you know, oh, you said you were homeless, so I took your word for it and gave you $20. Okay? And I'm going to let you run down to the corner and buy drugs for $20 while you're getting your food off the shelter. When you really, really get hungry, you know how to go to the shelter and get food. Get free food. Okay. I'm about done with this video. Okay. Now he's calling stuff sin or whatever. I didn't know it was a sin to ask for $40,000. People call me on phone every week trying to see if they can, and I'm the good guy. They trying to scam me. They trying to make promises to me that they can't keep. Okay? I mean, it would be better if they just asked me for the money instead of trying to make these promises that they can't keep. But Corey thinks it's a sin because they closed the doors and asked for $40,000. That's a crime. That's a sin. I didn't know that was a sin. Maybe I need to read the Bible more often. Oh, now he needs to confess his sins. He needs to confess his sins because he asked these ministers to get together and help him raise $40,000. He needs to confess his sins now. I'm lost. I'm confused. This is getting crazier and crazier the more I watch it.
Believers have no sin. If you say you don't have any sin, well, then the truth is not in you. If you confess, if you acknowledge your sin, acknowledge your wrongdoing, then he is faithful and righteous to forgive you and give you or cleanse you from all unrighteousness.
And I'm pretty sure that when Mr. Sapp asked for that $40,000, the people were faithful and just to put in their 10s and 20s until it equaled $40,000. Okay? And I'm pretty sure that while this was going on, that Marvin Sapp was faithful and just to shut them doors so that there would be no unrighteousness coming in to the sanctuary. It's just hilarious, man. It really is. Oh my God, that has nothing to do with, okay, all right.
Just go ahead and say, it was wrong, mistake, maybe he meant it this way, maybe he'll say the same thing, but don't give him a reason to double down.
People out here doing the right thing and doing ministry the right way. I've seen people get their bills paid and have things done for them and raise money for clothes and food for people that did not have food and certain things in the name of ministry. John P. Key built a church on the same corner that he used to sell drugs on. And he has changed lives. John P. Key has helped me in ministry. If it weren't for ministry, my mind would be gone right now because a lot of people who are together to help me in my time agree and so don't tear down ministry.
We agree. Ministry is absolutely necessary, but that means that our ministry, our service to the Lord is always perfect. And when you do things that are not perfect, or you do things that are offensive, or you do things now that are not perfect and not and offensive, but you do something that's also wrong, sinful, well then that's when the person, not the ministry or the body, but that person needs to be rebuked. That's just the rule.
I'm in ministry. And ministry do some good things. In order for ministry to work, or whatever, in order for ministry to work, you have to raise money.
Now, before we go to this next part, you have to raise money. But if you're doing things in an ungodly fashion, then what are we told to do? We are told to not participate in the unfruitful deeds of darkness. Whether you use the word close, the goal was to get more money out of these people.
Close the doors for me for a quick moment. I want everybody to remain standing quickly. I have to do something. I'm well over time, but I have to do something quickly. Simple question. How many of you all received something from the word of the Lord tonight? Put your hands down. I'm going to try one more time. Because I've learned that
he said, did you notice? He said, I have to do something for the Lord right now. I can tell that they were supposed to raise money at this convention just by the stuff that he said. And he preached. See, there it is right here. Oh, well, I ain't never heard nobody closing the doors. He was just preaching. They opened the doors back up because he's almost done. And then he asks them to close the doors again. Okay? He was probably preaching so good, he probably almost forgot to raise the money. And now that because he didn't forget, you're judging him for it, But I can tell how this went down. I can see there's little things he said in that shows that everybody's making too big of a deal out of this,
Learn that every word ain't for everybody. And this word may not have been for you, and I'm good with that, I understand. But how many of y'all really received something from the word of the Lord tonight? Listen.
This is how you guilt people. If you receive something, then give something. But there's nothing wrong with asking for an offering. there's probably something wrong with asking for multiple offerings, 2, 3, or 4 offerings. And how many offerings do they take already? Well, we'll see.
When you study Scripture, you will notice that whenever God did something in the lives of the patriarchs of old, the patriarchs would pause. They would set up an altar. They would offer up sacrifices. I asked each and every one of you how many of y'all received something from the Lord. Everyone.
Now, when they received something from the Lord didn't turn around and say, because you received something from me, turn around and give me money or give me some sort. No, and don't equate these offerings with giving money. Don't do that.
Everyone in this place.
You know what I thought about? People who complain about giving money will never ever be rich. I mean, maybe Corey don't want to be rich. I do. But people who complain about giving money, the Bible clearly says you will never be rich. You will never ever prosper. You may have enough there to take care of your own wife and your kids and all like that, but you will never ever have the money that was your goal, that was your initial goal to complete before you retired or whatever. You will never have it. You won't see it, because when you complain about giving money, money is meant to be given, money is meant to be spent, and money is meant to be saved. So why? You can spend it and give it to the right things, and you can better your own livelihood with it. Okay, money is meant to be given, spent, and sold. I mean, given, spent, and saved. It is. Money is meant to be given, spent, and saved. Given, spent, and saved. People who complain about money will not go very far. People who complain about giving, oh, well, you ain't supposed to say this to get us to give money. How does a rich man ask people to give money? He will get up right up in your face and ask you, well, if you do this, okay, first of all, you need to do this so that this can happen. That's how rich people talk. Rich people don't try to say, oh, tell you a sad story so you can give them money like homeless people do. Tell, oh, well, you know, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, and I lost this and I lost that. Sound like me right now. Okay, you know, so this is why I need this. No, they get it right up in your face. And they tell you, hey, you got $40,000? You know, people who complain about giving money will never go far. Because the Bible says God loves a cheerful giver. Period. You don't try to make stipulations about, oh, well, why would I give him $40,000? Well, you went to a service, didn't you? You showed up, didn't you? You had, like he said here, you had a good time, didn't you? If I want to ask for $40,000, that's my prerogative. Look at all these people here. You're all fans. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get...
Said these words. I did. Because of your acknowledgement of what God did in word, there is an obligation that is attached to that acknowledgement. In biblical days, they offered livestock, grain. That was a type of currency.
Now, before Corey gets on here and busts him for saying that, I will agree. We don't go to church every day and pay money. We might put something in the offering plate, but you know, we give, some of us, we give once a month. Like, I found out years ago, I'm not going to give, if I go to church every Sunday, I'm not going to give every Sunday. You know, I may give $1 just to put something in the plate because they passed the plate around. If they pass the plate around in my home church, in my senior church, I only give once a month. I wait till the end of the month and I put my tithes and offerings in an envelope and I put them in in the plate, in the box. We don't pass the plate, we have a box. So I put my tithes and offerings in the box, and usually we have usually I put in there probably about $50 or something by the end of the month or something. Okay? But I'm not going to give every Sunday and then turn around and give $50 also at the end of the month. I'm not going to give 10 this Sunday and 10 this Sunday and 10 this Sunday, and then on the last Sunday of the month I'm going to give $50. No. Okay? But, you know, when income tax time comes, when I was having my kids on my income tax as dependents, I didn't mind giving anywhere from about, $100 around tax season to about $500 around tax season, putting it in that offering plate. I don't mind. Why? Because I appreciate the Lord's work and what the Lord is doing. But I gotta admit here, these people are not people to go to his church every day and all like that. He shouldn't be talking to them like they have an obligation to give, because they don't. You don't have an obligation to give. You might have an obligation to give a little bit since they're taking up an offering, so you don't look like a Scrooge. But you're not obligated to give because you heard the message. The pastor gets paid to be a pastor. You're not obligated to give just because you heard the message. I hope that's not what he's saying.
But if you will, I did not say money. I said currency. There's a reason why I use the word currency. Because currency has a root word. The root word is current. Current has two definitions. Current means a flow. Current in an ocean. Current in a lake. Current in a river. Current in the sea. But it also means now.
I love it when pastors, preachers are getting real cute. Truth be told, the root word of currency is from the Latin word curre, and that word also, the word current is derived from that, and then the English word, the understanding for current.
Oh my God!
Flow. Think of an electrical current, and then it does mean right now.
What about what it says in the English dictionary, Corey? Are we allowed to use that? He's using the Hebrew and the Greek with his Hebrew and Greek junky self. He's using the Hebrew and Greek to critique a man getting ready to take up an offering. Oh my God. I'm about 2 seconds from unsubscribing to this guy. He is so weird. Like, oh my God. Okay. I'm about to close, folks.
Right now. So now he's taken from what currency means to what the word current. One of the definitions of currency.
Oh my
is
Lord!
Wanting to make a point for this offering that he's taking.
Oh my
Current
Lord.
events. Current events. Stuff that's happening now. This is what I feel led of God to do now. And this is what God is saying for at least 1,000 of you in the building. And this is
That's what God is saying right now.
So there is over 1,000 people in that building. There's over 1,000. There might be 10,000 people in there. I don't know. But I thought there was only maybe about 500 people in that room. There's over 1,000 people in there. And this is the thing. If they give, it's going to end up 40,000 or over anyway, with all those people in the room. If everybody give generously, it's going to be over 40,000 anyway, because there's a lot of people in that room. So if everybody give, okay, it's going to be a lot of money because of the amount of people in the room. 40,000 is a small number when you're asking 5,000 people to give.
That's what God is saying now. Stop lying on God. He didn't say that. This is what you're wanting to say. This is what you are wanting to do. Don't stop putting things on God as though God moved it. No, he did not.
simple. I'm not going to challenge you the way Bishop did. but I know that there's 1,000 individuals.
Well, if they are actually raising a fund and they're trying to cover everything in this one service for the fund, and y'all been praying to God for this fund, God is actually laying on your heart a way to get the debt or whatever they're raising money for paid for. Okay?
Under the sound of my voice.
Okay, what do you mean by you're not going to challenge them the way that Bishop did? Well, because there was another offering. How many offerings did they have? They had at least 3 offerings, and then also being mentioned in their little...
Because he probably felt that they were lazy about their giving with the first bishop. Marvin Sapp, I think Marvin Sapp himself might be a pastor. I think Marvin Sapp does have his own church. I think he does. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he does have his own church. Okay. I was going to say, but he probably felt that, he's visiting, and this is a convention center. The bishop was probably the head bishop of the whole thing, and his church is probably the main people running this thing. And he felt that they, that the debt that they're trying to pay or whatever they're raising funds for, they could have done better. So he asked for more. Again, people that go to church on a regular basis know either you give the money or you don't. If you give the money, do it as a cheerful giver. If you don't give the money, it's okay. Nobody's putting a gun to your head and telling you to give the money. And nobody's going to stop you from leaving the church. They're going to lock you inside the sanctuary and keep you from leaving if you don't want to give any money. You can give 0. You don't have to give a penny. And you're leaving and the usher says, how can I help you? I'm leaving. Oh, okay. Let me escort you. Okay? These guys act like they've never been to church before. That they've only went to theological churches that were colleges. They've never been to an actual church where an actual bishop or pastor is running the church. It's just they're fussing and arguing. It's just ridiculous.
Little intercessions or whatever in their breaks, they had time for them to give offerings as well. So at least 3 times were offerings taken up, but. Let's go to that offering, and it's something like this offering again. We're thinking that he's just getting or bringing in $40,000. No, it's more than $40,000.
I asked the Lord tonight, I said, Lord, we have a heavy budget. I want to receive an offering that glorifies you.
I don't know what's happening in the back, but, that's how they do. I get it. It's a Pentecostal service. And so people are going to catch the Holy Ghost, we would say. But I want you to notice, one, what they're asking, what he's going to ask for. And then I also want you to notice, maybe you see somebody there.
And here's what God told me. He said, there is a new beginning for some folks. So I wrote my check for $800.
I don't know if you see that person there. I don't know if you see that person. That person that you see over to the right in the background, put it back on, and I'll pause it. I'll move it back just a little bit, and I want you to see if you could identify that particular person.
$800.
Do you all see? To the right, that is the scam artist of scam artists. That is Prophet Passion Java, who has different assault charges levied at him. That's who that is. Well, what's the problem?
That's interesting.
Well, I'll tell you the problem being there, because what the Bible says. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 15:33, do not...
I thought he was going to say that was a rapper. He looked like a rapper, but whatever.
Be deceived, bad company corrupts good morals. You are around this horrible, wretched person who is not only just there, he's on stage. These, again, you got these folks that travel in these packs and they want to be known and associated with the same people, the same group, with the same doctrine, because doctrine doesn't matter. But it's a scheme in many cases just to pilfer the people.
And the Lord told me challenge 12 people to bring $800. Any of you on the floor, you want to come? I want you to put it in my hand. I need 12 folks. Bishop Martin, if you'll come, count those for me. One. I need 12 folks that'll bring me $800. 12 people that will bring $800.
12 people that will bring you $800. But that wasn't the only people that he asked for. Not just the 12 to bring $800. He also asked for, 25 people to bring $500. So in this particular case, he raised about, let's add this up. Let's do the math on this thing, because my math, I'm not all that great with math by itself. So he raised a total of $22,100, $9,600 for the $800 offering, and those with the $500 offering, he gave $22,000, plus the previous offering that they had, the other offering that they had also. Take that and couple that with the $40,000 that Marvin Sapp was raising. That's a pretty good haul.
That can do what I'm about to challenge you all to do.
That's still a small number compared to the fact that there's 5 to 10,000 people in the room. That's a small amount of money. We're not even talking about 100. Well, we might be over 100,000. Well, it should be over 100,000 when you add them all up, because you got about 5 to 10,000 people in that room. If they all give $5, that's a lot of money. Wait a minute. Yeah. If they all gave $5, I think that should equal to 40,000. Don't quote me. But I mean, like, now see, you got me doing the Corey thing. I'm about to go over there and get my calculator. I don't know what I'm talking about. All I know is let 10,000 people give me $5 a piece. I could retire. I could retire for the rest of my life, I think. Let me go get, I got to do this. Let me go. Look, see, you got me doing the Corey Minor crap. Let me see. Now Corey Minor got me using my calculator. Hold on, let me see. I think he's still tripping. Let me see. Okay. 5 times, let's say 10,000 equals. Oh, okay. Okay. So let's say, so that's only 5,000. Okay, now y'all that or remember your algebra and your timetables, y'all remember. Okay, let me try. Let's say 20. Wait a minute. Yeah, $20 times 10,000 equals. Oh, so yeah, you know what? You're asking for people to give. You're asking people to give at least $100. Let me see. I mean, but see, it's a fundraiser, though. It is a fundraiser. You can tell it's a fundraiser. So they have a right. They have a right to do that. Either you give or you don't give. I'm gonna say it again. Either you give or you don't give. Okay. Okay. Let's say $100. Okay. So 100 people would have to give. 100 people would have to give. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. What did that equal to? Okay, that comes to 1,000. Okay, 100 people would have to give. So 100 people don't need to give $100 to make 40,000. What do you need to make? Oh, well, 100 people need to give $40. According to this, let me see. 100 people, that ain't bad. 100 people need to give $40. Or, wait a minute, 10,000 people need to give $40. Okay? But if you're saying 1,000 people in the room, then that means they got to give more. So, let's say 40 times 1,000. 40,000. Okay. Sorry, I don't do math, but okay. That's not a lot. 40, you're saying if 40 Oh, wait a minute. Let me do that again. That means all 10,000 people got to give it though. Wait a minute, hold up. Let me see. How did I add that? 40 times. Oh, I'm not adding. Okay, let's do it this way. I missed out how many thousands of people. I'm just saying 1,000 people. $500 people give $40, you got $200,000. Wait a minute. Yeah, 5,000 people pay $40, you got $200,000. Did I do that right? Let me see. Where's my thing? Yeah, we're down here. $40 times 5,000 people is $200,000. So my bottom line is that you know what I'm saying, and then you got to understand that, okay, if these people gave 800 or 500, they're done. The people that gave 800, they're done giving. The people that gave 500, they're done giving. Now we're down to people who can give, and that's what he's doing. He's going to like 800 to 500, the people that can give $40 is what he's doing. That's how he's doing the math. Okay, everybody can give 800, everybody can give 500. Maybe somebody can give $40. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing here. Okay, if he's doing the math, that's what he's doing. And I've been in my church in Homewood, Pittsburgh, we've done that. They would count the offering. And they're like, oh, we still don't have the budget that we want. So they would go again and say, we need about 20 people to give $10 or something like that. They would go down. They would start high and then they would go down. It's a fundraiser. They're trying to raise funds for something. Okay? It's a fundraiser. They're raising funds. And now that I did the math, I really think that Corey's blown it out of his butt, because that's not a lot of money that they're giving. When you figure there's about 10,000 people in that room, they're not giving that much money. They're like, I think the most money that they're giving, except for the people that they specifically asked to give out 800 to 500, you're only giving out $40. The others are only giving out $40. Like,
this is simple. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge will be $20,000. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge you all to do will be $20,000. Now, for those of us who are on the dais, I'm taking you higher, so put it back. I'm a strong believer that leaders lead not only in time, not only in talent, but also in treasure. Leaders lead in time, talent, and treasure. I was taught a long time ago that it costs to sit up here.
He's right. Usually, and it varies how they do it. because you've been greasing the wheel in other ways, you might be able to come up on the stage for free, or you pay, you agree to give an offering or do something, and so it's coming out of you financially in hopes of it, because the way a lot of these guys do it, they do it as a means of kind of making an investment. I'll put this here, and I'll get the return somewhere else. If nothing else, you at least saw me there, and then I can also expose myself to these people either by my books, my conference, or what have you, all these different things. And so, yeah,
there's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We are.
Now, so what is he after? He wants to close the door. I don't want anyone leaving. No one leaving. Close the doors. Why? Is it the same as saying the word lock? No. Does it mean the same? It absolutely does.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
We're defending this bad action. What we're supposed to do, Ricky Smiley and everyone else.
Look, if somebody say, I got to use the restroom, you think the usher is going to say, no, you can't leave out of here until you pay? Come on, man. Come on, Corey. Come on, Corey. Oh, man, you're such a false prophet.
Expose these sorts of things.
Y'all gonna leave together? Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant.
What I tell you? Did I tell you? That's the same thing they used to do to us when I was coming up. You know, they still do it. Now, a lot of y'all gonna go y'all gonna leave here and go straight to McDonald's when you leave here. Y'all gonna pay $40 at McDonald's because you got kids. You gonna tell me you can't put in $10? Hey, that's what being a cheerful giver is. Much is given, much is required. That's what giving is all about. You know, don't try to hate. You know, people that got a problem with giving, people got a problem with people asking them for money. Okay, money is meant to be given, spent, and saved, so that you can spend it on bigger things. Money is meant to be given. Okay, what did I say? I don't forgot what I said. Money is meant to be given, spent, and saved so you can spend it on bigger things. That's the way money works. Money is not made to just stay there so you can say, I'm a millionaire, I'm a billionaire. Yeah. You're a billionaire or a millionaire if you got $1 billion coming back to you at the end of the month. Or before the end of the month, better yet. But you're not a billionaire because you got $1 billion saved in the bank and you don't want to touch it because you want to be a billionaire. So you're going to sacrifice your life to keep $1 billion. That's not a billionaire. A billionaire means that every time you spend $1 billion, you get that billion right back. Because your corporation is $1 billion corporation, your net worth is $1 billion. You can keep $1 billion in the bank to do what you want to do with it. It's not money that you owe. It's not money that you're spending on insurances or whatever. It's your money. That's what makes you a billionaire. Okay? Or a millionaire, thousandaire, whatever.
There's 1,000 of you tonight. And those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and get it because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on take your phone and stick it on the bucket. Shh. Giving is worship. Giving is worship.
This is ridiculous. One is just this controlling people. Again, they can't leave. They're thinking not to leave, and you tell them, shh. You've got these people right where you want them. This is so wrong on so many levels. One, you are never to compel anyone. Paul says that our giving, that what we give should be done hilariously or cheerfully without compulsion.
That's worship. If you are giving sparingly and cheerfully, that's worship. If you're giving because of your token to the Lord, that's worship, Corey. You don't have to go to the Hebrew and the Greek and try to find what words mean worship, Corey. If you are giving sparingly and giving without necessity and giving ungrudgingly, you are worshiping. You are giving because of the Lord. Anything you do for the Lord because the Lord is who He is, that is worship. Okay? You don't go to the Greek, Corey, and start looking up how many different ways the word worship comes out of a word. Okay? If you are giving to the Lord, that's worship. Because why? The Lord ain't gonna do nothing with your money, but swivel that in a way where it goes to somebody else that needs it. The Lord don't need your money. So if you're giving to the Lord, it is worship. Giving is worship. When you think about how we give and why we give, it is worship. Don't go to the Hebrew and Greek and start tripping. It's okay.
Compelling people to do so. You're putting the pressure, or you're putting the squeeze on them. Or people are joking and playing when they said that they were being held hostage, but mentally, maybe emotionally, spiritually, they feel that way. I can't give. I can't leave. I hope, and there are some people saying, Lord, I hope to see people come and pay this money, give this money. I don't have it to give, so that we can all.
There are many times when I left church early. There are many times when I've left church early. And when I went to get up out of my seat, the ushers were like, yeah, I'm going that way. And they opened the door for me. And I went and took a leak and I left while they were doing the offering. Now sometimes I put my money in an envelope and I gave it to somebody sitting next to me, and I says, can you put that in a plate for me? I gotta go. Other times I gave my offering and the offering was still going on and I left. Other times I didn't want to give an offering, so I left. Well, okay, while the music is playing and they're taking up an offering, I'm leaving. I gotta go to work, I gotta go, so I left. I wanted to get out of here a little bit early. I left. Church has been too long today. I'm leaving. Okay? Nobody stopped me and said, well, you can't leave. We're taking up an offering. I'd have been like, if you want me to pee on the floor, unless you want me to pee on the floor, you better let me go. Ain't nobody going to do that. Ain't nobody going to do that. Now, there has been times where to get out of the church, you got to go downstairs because the sanctuary is upstairs. So when they shut them doors, they did not let you go out them doors because it's too noisy out there. What they did say is go down the steps, and once you get down the steps, the bathrooms and the exit and everything is downstairs. So you're free to go. Once you go down them steps, you're free to go. Now, if you were in a wheelchair, then they opened up them doors and took you out that way, and you went down the ramp or whatever. But these people need to get out and go to church more often because they ain't been around. My goodness, man.
I'll leave. No one. I'm pretty sure no one on their own side, because they did. If someone on their own decided to give this money, they would have given the money. But you're pressuring them to do so, and then giving is worship. No, it's not. Giving is not worship.
Yes, it is.
Giving is worship. Giving is worship. This ain't the time to talk. Keep coming. That's it. Look at us. Look at us. Look at us. Yeah. Now after you come up here, you can open the doors. Y'all going out the door after you come up here.
See? So after you give, then you can open the doors. After they give, then you can open the doors and they can leave. Meaning they couldn't leave. So no, Ismail, you were wrong. And this is wrong on so many levels. You got false teachers, false prophets, other folks. So you guys might have recognized with just bad doctrine. I'm pretty sure. What other false prophets is there? The mere fact that you've got this person up there, someone has a severe lack of discernment.
Oh, Lord.
And you've got people there who couldn't spell doctrine. You don't care. As long as we have a conference, put it together. And here's the problem. You put together these expensive conferences that have to be paid for by some sort of way, but we've got to get together this money so that we can pay for the venue, pay for the people, our speakers, pay for the people that are coming up here. There's those that got to work this place, musicians, those that are running the lights.
No, Corey. There's a budget to pay for all those people. There's a budget to pay for the people that are working. Okay, the people that are working there, they make money. They get paid for what they do all the time. Okay, there's not going to be a $500,000 offering taken every time you have a big convention. No, you're wrong about that, Corey. These people are getting paid out of a budget automatically that pays them. There's a budget that pays for these people. He's taking up an offering because one of the things that he's preaching on was raising money for this particular thing. You still have yet to tell us what they're raising the money for. Nobody complaining about this is telling us what they're raising that money for. Okay? Now you telling me they're raising the money for something stupid? I will take back everything that I said. But if they're raising the money for a church that burnt down, if they're raising the money for something that they're trying to build, as the people all come together with an affiliation of churches and having something among themselves that they have together, that they share together, okay, that's fine, okay? But I doubt if you're going to hear that they're just pointlessly raising money to raise money, number one, or they're raising money to pay off their employees because their employees work all the time. So that means that every time they do a conference, they would have to raise $5,000 or $500 or $500. Or no, 500,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to do that every time they have a conference at this convention center. They're raising the money for something that obviously is very important, and they don't want to leave out of there until it's paid. That's what's going on here. They want to make sure that whatever they're raising money for, they're not going to do another service and raise money for it again. It's paid for. We got all the money that we need tonight. Okay? That's what they're doing. That is simply what they're doing.
All the things out there, there's probably a concession stand, who knows? All of these things cost money. You get together and you have these things where it costs money, not at a church, but at some other venue. And what happens? All the money has to go to there. Where could this money go? If you really try to help someone, help the ministry, it could go to help people that are actually in need versus paying for this venue and paying for these other people. Why can't these people that are in that city do it themselves? Why do I have to invite this pastor, this preacher, that person? I can understand if it was, let's say, a teaching, something on some sort of teaching. We want to come and talk about this. And
okay, that's my cue. I'm out. That's where I'm done. Okay. Corey doesn't know why they're raising the money. He's making up reasons why they could be raising the money. And nobody's raising this money for something that's not extremely important. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than, building a wall and everybody getting together building a wall. Workers getting out there. You got money, your money works for you. Okay? Your giving is part of your working to accomplish something. If you're trying to build something, okay, you go out there, you either pay people to do it. If you're trying to build something, you either pay people to do it, or you go out there and do it with your physical strength. Okay? Obviously, you're trying to build something. And look at the age groups in that audience. Okay, behind them. Okay? And Marvin Sapp obviously knows that the people coming to this conference got money. None of them work. Most of them don't work at McDonald's. Most of them ain't poor. Most of them ain't broke. Okay? If they give, they give. If they don't, they don't. And nobody's going to lock them inside because they didn't give. And nobody's going to put them down because they didn't give. Okay? And if they give little, they give little. If they give a lot, they give a lot. Okay? That's just like at the Philip Anthony Mitchell Church. The dude put $1,000 there on the altar. Okay? People in the world that ain't even saved that got money like that give. And they do better than a lot of Christians. Okay? Corey, do you see this picture right here of him sitting in front of his stand with his mug and his Bibles and his commentary books and all that? This picture will still be there about 100 years from now. Or 50 years from now. 20 years from now. Okay? Corey is not going to go very far because he doesn't believe in giving money. God loves a cheerful giver. Okay? You're not going to get nowhere with that attitude, Corey. You might be living okay now, but you're not going to get any bigger than that. You're not going to get any bigger than that because you don't believe in bigger things. Okay? Again, I'm closing. Like, I don't know what else to tell them. You can watch this video if you want. Ricky Smiley defends Marvin Sapp's $40,000 offering. 10,000 people in the room. That is not a lot of money. I'm sorry. Okay? The one minister got up there and said 800. Another one said 500. I'm like, okay, now, like, wow. And I know what they were doing. Again, I've been in churches where they've done that. They'd start off at the highest number and see what they could get. And then they take another offering, go down a little bit lower. Then they go all the way down to like 10s and 20s and 5s. Okay? A lot of y'all might disagree with me, but I don't care. Read your Bible. Read your Bible without Corey's help, and you'll see that there's nothing wrong if a pastor wants to raise $40,000. There's nothing wrong if a pastor wants to raise $100,000, especially when there's 10,000 people in the room. So, and there's and like Miley, what's his name? Ricky Smiley said, like he said. Open and shut doors at a convention center or at a large church are the norm. They're always shutting them doors. No church you go to, any large church you go to where they have a lobby out in the front, behind those doors, okay, or a large hallway, a noisy, loud, echoed hallway. One person leaving the restroom, everybody can hear him in the sanctuary. Okay, look. They always open and shut. Open and shut. Ricky Smiley is right. Open and shut. Open and shut those doors. Now Marvin Sapp wanted, like he said, giving his worship. So he wanted those doors closed because to him, giving is worship. So just another case of hyper-criticism coming from Mr. Smart Christian and many others. And, YouTube does not help the Christian community. It doesn't. Watching YouTube does not make anybody a better Christian. Because of crap like this. Where every minister is, Now, again, me, I wouldn't have put that on camera. You closing doors. Why are we putting it on camera in the first place? You closing doors. If this is private between me and my 10,000 people, okay? Why am I putting this on camera? Well, he didn't. Somebody else in the audience filmed the whole thing, and he probably didn't even know it. Okay, but it looks like they have their own cameramen recording this. But me, I wouldn't have put this on YouTube. At my senior church, when my pastor, when people start speaking in tongues and stuff like that, we shut the camera off. When people start, if we start talking about money, if we start talking about assault or anything that is of private matter, we cut the camera off. We hit the button. Okay? The service ends when he makes the altar call. Click. That's it. We don't need to watch everybody pray. We don't need to watch everybody speak in tongues. We don't need to watch everybody give closing testimonies. Okay? The minute he makes an altar call, click, service is over. That's the end of the service. That's the end of the tape. Okay? But, you know, there you have it. This here, you know, this piece of work, this tool bag. You know, him and many others. Christians need to learn how to be Christians for God and not for themselves. They need to learn how to be Christians and not just criticizers. A lot of people on YouTube think that being a Christian means that you have to go around and criticize. Oh, I caught so-and-so doing this, and I caught so-and-so doing this. We got to make a video about it, ladies and gentlemen. No, you don't. No, you really don't. You don't have to make a video about it at all. You can let them be them, and you can be you. And as long as you don't do what you disagree with, then you're good. Because it's too late. Marvin Sapp got his 40,000 or his 100,000 or his 500,000, whichever one he raised for them people. They got it. Okay? There ain't nothing you can do about it. It's over. Ain't nobody gonna give the money back. It's over. You know? It's over. Let it go. Okay? But, you know, he's not allowed to defend himself. He's not allowed to address. He's not allowed to do anything but, as Corey put it, admit that he committed a sin. What sin? Asking somebody for $40,000 is not a sin. I'll go out there right now and ask my neighbor for $40,000. Did I commit a sin? I need $50,000. I actually need $50,000 right now. I need $100,000 right now. And I guarantee you, after spending $100,000, I'll still be broke. Ain't gonna make me rich. I got too much debt now for it to do anything for me. I'll still be wearing this cheap Fruit of the Loom. This ain't even Fruit of the Loom. I'll be still wearing these cheap George t-shirts or whatever these are. Okay? $100,000 spent properly does not make me more richer. It makes me actually broke. You know, if I spend that money right, I'll be broke again. But I'll be able to take out a loan. I know that. I'll be able to get better helps for myself and all like that because my credit will be fixed. You know? But I'm going to close there. Thank you for watching. D. Cruz, your Life Applications Officer, Cruz for Christ. Corey Minor tripping again over somebody asking for $40,000. And he's still tripping. He's going to keep on tripping. Because he's not here to preach the word. He's not here to win souls for Christ. He's here to go up against other Christians. Okay? And that has its own, that's its own sin, that's its own crime, that's its own form of silliness and immaturity. It really is. He thinks he's being mature by talking about this. No, he's being a child. He's being silly. Okay? The money's gone. The money's already reached its destination. And ain't nobody gonna apologize for that. It was a fundraiser. It was an event at a convention center. You don't even know what he raised the money for, and you're making this content. You should be ashamed of yourself. You, Corey, and everybody else that's, you know, getting on here trying to hate without a good reason to hate. In Jesus' name, thank you for watching. Talk to you soon with more.